Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jonathan, and welcome back to Money Talks, where we want to offer you financial information and meet you where you are financially so that you're able to stick to your budget, manage to pay off your debt, and begin to save on your path to building wealth. Today, I just want to pop in to give you a stimulus check update because the bill was released for the HEALS Act just a day ago. If this is your first time joining me here on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, guys, but I do want you to understand some of the new things that are proposed in this HEALS Act. We've been waiting and wondering what's going to happen, and I know you're getting mixed messages from the news, and you probably got a new article that pops up pretty much every other minute about what potentially could happen. But as I said before, try your best not to get too so caught up in the rhetoric. The bill is out. And what the Republicans have laid out, I won't go through everything, but I'll go through the high points of what I think you were most wanting to know. So number one, the stimulus check. Yes, they did want to do another stimulus check, $1,200 as stated before. And also utilizing the same requirements prior. One caveat, one difference was having money for adult dependents in this stimulus check bill and being able to send that out a little bit more rapidly. But despite the differences of the Democrats and the Republicans, they do agree about the check piece. The amount, there may be some contingencies, but when you err on the side of caution or when you're trying to think of where this thing is going to land, start with the $1,200 because that's the lowest amount. Now the Democrats, they want $2,000. They also want $1,200 for kids and dependents. Then they want that to max out at 3 dependents. Whereas the Republicans are proposing $500 per child, but with more, so you can have as many children as possible and you will get paid for that. Which would be better? Obviously the $1,200, because you would have to have nearly 6 to 7 kids just to get that $1,200 per child, that extra $3,600. Where will that land? We'll see in this coming week because there are a lot of discussions before the Democrats go on break on August 8th. The second piece of this bill, again, be excited that there's a stimulus check. We'll wait to see how those details get compromised out. The second piece I want to discover and kind of cover with you is unemployment. Now, obviously the unemployment at this point has run out. There's no extra pandemic being paid out. What does that extension look like? Well, as I kind of projected and as I went from that previous information that was being told by some of the Republicans, it's going to land between about $100 and $200 extra proposed for extension. That's way different than that $600. And when you think about where people are hurting right now, so some of those extensions of payments are starting to run out. Some of those bills are starting to become due. Auto loans, credit cards, things that were put on hold. Those things are becoming due. Another bill inside of this that's still part of the discussion is, will they extend the student loan freeze? These are things that are pertinent right now because we're still on the brink, and as the economy is still trying to make its way to move forward, we're still on the brink of what could be one of the largest foreclosure events we've ever seen. So how will that look over these next coming months? Remember, this bill was to start to try to boost the economy. But one thing, as they were drafting the bill that came up, Mitch McConnell also stated was he was reserving the right to put themselves in position for if another bill is needed later on down the road, which can be later on this year. We don't know. But what we do know, the CARES Act and how robust our economy is, that just wasn't enough. Will this be enough? It's hard to tell, but we know this is where we're at right now as far as getting more checks in the Americans' hands. And even those that are on unemployment, the goal now is to, as safely as we can, try to get people back to work. Everyone in an economy where 40 million plus is out of work with 20 million new jobs out there, it's definitely going to be what I call and what you should think of as a slow recovery. But needless to say, at least we can all be grateful for something that is coming, no matter if it's a big help to uplift or if it's just a little help along the way. It's still help. The last thing, besides the unemployment not being 600, which is a huge disappointment, and I've seen some of those that are hurting, it will get better. It will be other opportunities to help people get back on their feet. Last thing I want to cover is schools. Obviously putting money and funding around schools being able to reopen, because August is actually a big month. This is when kids are starting to gear back up. What is our funding going to be specific? Well, that's been outlined, but we'll see kind of, again, this week, negotiations. What's going to be taken in? What things may be changed? What tension is going to happen? Not much has been said already because the bill is still fresh, but the good thing we can say is at least they're giving ample amount of time for good discussions to occur, and this bill could change before getting to Trump. So what does that timing look like for this next check? Well, again, I'm still projecting that middle of August. I've seen dates that could be as late as the 24th, but that's based off, hey, if they approve this bill right before the Senate goes on recess, that's August 8th. And then when you add in, it took about 17 days for the CARES Act to get approved. So 8 plus 17, that takes you to about the 24th. That's how people are getting to that date. But I still think it could probably be middle of August because we're not even through July yet. Needless to say is it's coming and approaching very quickly. And again, the good thing about this is once approved and once established that, hey, we're going to start dispersing, there shouldn't be too much hangups because we've all been through the CARES Act, we've been through the hiccups, we've been through setting up our accounts and making sure we're eligible for it. So this should be a little bit easier transition to disperse funds out and do it at a massive amount. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.